Let me ask you something honestly. When was the last time you did something just because it felt good? Not because it improved you, not because it made money, not because it moved you forward, just because you enjoyed it. If that question makes you pause longer than you like, this episode is for you. I'm Christina Perry, and this is the podcast where we discuss ways to live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. In the last episode, we talked about how happiness isn't a goal. It's a state of safety. And today, I want to build on that. Because if happiness is a state of safety, then play might be one of the most direct paths back to it. And most adults have quietly abandoned it. We live in a culture that worships improvement. Everything has to scale. Everything has to produce. Everything has to justify its existence. Even rest gets optimized. Even hobbies get monetized. Even creativity becomes content. And slowly, without realizing, we internalize a belief. If it's not productive, it's not valuable. But your nervous system doesn't care about productivity. It cares about safety. And play signals safety in a way positivity never can. Positivity is cognitive. Play is physiological. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if your body feels evaluated, rushed, or braced, those affirmations hit resistance. You can't think your way into happiness if your system is in defense mode. And many high-functioning adults live in low-grade defense mode all the time. Jaw tight, shoulder lifted, breath shallow, mind scanning. That's not a character flaw. That's a nervous system doing its job. But happiness does not grow in vigilance. It grows in safety. When you play, truly play, something shifts. Time softens. Your body loosens. You're not anticipating judgment. You're not calculating outcome. Play tells your system you are safe enough to explore. As children, we didn't play to impress. We didn't play to achieve mastery. We didn't play to build personal brands. We played to feel alive, and aliveness is the root of happiness. Here's where it gets complicated. Many of us didn't stop playing because we matured. We stopped because play got watched, graded, compared, corrected, measured. And for some of us, performance became tied to love. If you were praised for achievement, noticed for talent, validated for success, your nervous system may have learned that safety comes through performance. So play, without outcome, feels risky. It feels exposed, uncontained, unimpressive. But what's ironic is this. The very thing we learn to perform for safety is often what disconnects us from joy. Because performance requires vigilance. Play requires presence. And those are two very different nervous system states. When I sit down at the piano now without rules, I notice something subtle. I'm not trying to be good. I'm not trying to improve. I'm not trying to remember what I once knew. I'm just responding. And in that response, there's no evaluation. I'm just responding. And in that response, there's no evaluation. There's just sound, vibration, expression. And what surprises me is that happiness doesn't arrive like fireworks. It arrives like steadiness, like a body that isn't preparing to defend itself. That's the happiness we rarely talk about. Not ecstatic, not euphoric, just safe. We've been trying to solve unhappiness with mindset, but maybe what we need isn't more positivity. Maybe what we need are more moments where our bodies aren't being assessed, moments where nothing is at stake, moments where joy doesn't owe anyone anything. Play is not childish. It's not irresponsible. It's not indulgent. It's regulation. It's repair. It's rehearsal for safety. So I want to leave you with something simple this week. Notice where you feel pressure in the things you once loved. Notice where joy became performance. And then gently give yourself one small moment of useless play. Not to become better, not to become happier, just to feel safe enough to soften. Because happiness isn't something you force into existence. It's what returns when your nervous system stops bracing. And sometimes, the most radical thing an adult can do is play. I'm Christina Perry, and this has been another session for your soul.